Hi guys, welcome back to the Soccer Kicks channel where I give you a full review of football releases as well as tips and tricks to get the most out of your product. Today we have the Sokito Scudetta to go over, so let's get right into it. If you're new to Sokito, they are a football brand that wants to make a positive impact on waste. They were actually the first brand to start their own football recycling scheme and the first to be certified by the Vegan Society. Anything they do, they have the planet in mind. Brands tapping into more sustainable methods that produce less waste to create their product is not new, but as far as I can tell, Sokito is the only one doing this with everything they produce. The Scudetta is no exception, with it being about 90% sustainable, which I'll go back to later in the review. The Sokito Scudetta released last fall for $200 and recently released this all-white colorway and an all-black colorway. The synthetic upper is made mostly from bio-based sustainable materials, including corn waste, beans, wood fibers, sugarcane, and bamboo. I know, it's wild to think that these things make up this upper. It's very soft to the touch and meant to mimic leather. The latest release I can compare it to is the Messi Elite F50, which uses the hybrid touch upper. Although I'll note these are not as smooth because of the micro texture these have to give you a little bit of grip. The combination though is incredible because you get comfort from the upper and the aggressiveness of a speed boot from the Soleplate. Speaking of the Soleplate, these are pretty aggressive and meant to compete in the marketplace with speed boots clearly. I think the Nike Mercurial, Puma Ultra 5 Carbon, and the Under Armour Shadow Elite 3 still rank as the most aggressive plates out there, but these sit not too far behind. What does help this boot is the nylon insert inside, which mimics carbon fiber by giving you a snappy but rigid plate. Now, before we get into the fit, just a quick note. If you want to stay up to date with the latest releases and you're a fan of the channel, please be sure to subscribe and leave a like as it really helps the channel. Now let's get back to the review. Moving on to the fit, these hug your feet in such a pleasant manner. I recently reviewed the Mizuno Alpha 2 and the Snug fit compared to these is honestly very close to what they offer. I found these to be just a hair more forgiving on the sides, and there was a little bit of desk space for me at the top near my toes. These also have a suede-like inner lining that add to the comfort, and you also get a knit-like collar to hug your ankle. Judging by the initial fit and feel, I would say these will probably take about 3 to 4 sessions to break in. If you're looking at trying out a pair for yourself, I would recommend going true to size. I normally wear a size 8 US, and the ones on my feet now are a size 8 US. Again, I did have a little bit of dead space near my toes, but not enough to go down half a size. Something that a slightly thicker grip sock would fix. Now let's review the biggest win and loss of these boots. The biggest win is that as a first attempt to create a speed boot, these are exceptional. Not to mention how difficult it must be to make these with sustainability in mind. I can't even wrap my head around that. And I also have to give them massive credit for figuring out how to price these out at $200. That makes them the most affordable speed boots in the market today. The biggest loss is that this boot is technically not fully bio-based, which is why I mentioned it's about 90% there. However, for me, this doesn't bother me one bit because to achieve this, it must take a lot of research, development, and time. The brand knows this, so they sort of invite you to be on this journey with them. So much so that the players they partner with are also investors of the brand. They have literally bought into the mission of sustainability with Sokito. One last note is that even if you're not into the whole sustainability movement, these are still a top boot in its category. That's the Sokito Scudetta for you. I'll leave a few links in the description in case you're interested in buying these. If you have any questions or opinions about these, leave them down below and I'll answer them as they come. See you on the next one.